Happy Thursday. It's time for our Pocket Up with Joe. I want to thank you guys for joining me here. We've got 11 games on the ice. Now, yesterday, man, those first period bets I had out yesterday crushed me. And the Buffalo Sabres, how the heck do they not win that in shootout versus the Washington Capitals? I tell you, if you would have taken what Larry was throwing out for that parlay, the Buffalo Sabres would have cashed that. That was what, plus 1,043, something crazy like that. The Sabres cost us all a lot of money. So disappointing there, but time to make some money today. Let me just turn on my backlight, realizing I have that off, you guys. It's not the same without that light on. There we go. Can actually see the background here. So let's jump into it. We've got a great day on the ice, you guys. Big Sis. It's going to be a great game between the Rangers and the Penguins. We'll get to that one in just a couple of minutes here, but definitely some bad blood between those two teams. So it's going to be a battle there on the ice. So you guys, let's get this money. Go Knights. You're rubbing that in. You know I'm a Calgary fan. Oh, man, it's going to be a hard game for Calgary. Lots of people liking Calgary today. I'm not sure why, but let's make some money. Let's get to these bets today, you guys. So, okay. First game on the board. Like I said, 11 games. It's massive slate today, you guys. We have the Colorado Avalanche taking on the Ottawa Senators now 7 o'clock Eastern for this matchup, total 6.5. And now we have Colorado coming in here. They are minus 134 on that money line with the Ottawa Senators at plus 112. Jonas Johnson expected in goal for the Colorado Avalanche and Sogard expected here for the Ottawa Senators. Looking at this matchup, oh man, I know the Avs are such a strong team. They're off a really hard game versus the Toronto Maple Leafs last night. They were able to get the win in shootout. They cashed us that. They pushed us to overtime. So it was one game that really did go well yesterday, but they're on that back-to-back now. Now, this isn't a situation where Colorado is bad on the back-to-back. They've actually done well on a back-to-back, but with how hard of a style game that was, now taking on the Ottawa Senators, who's sitting 6th in the Atlantic, I think this could be a little bit of a letdown spot for the Colorado Avalanche. So I'm going to take the value here with the Ottawa Senators at plus 112. We also look at the Senators when they are facing teams on that second leg of a back-to-back. They've won their last 11 games. They've really stepped up versus those teams and capitalized on where we're seeing the tied legs on those teams. Now, the Avs, this is a scary one because they did completely dominate the Senators last time. Could be a little bit of revenge, but the way they dominated it was a 7-0 win for Colorado back in January. They've also gone 4-1 in the last 5 meetings here versus Ottawa. It's scary, you guys. The Sens have been playing solid at home. This team is trying to fight. I don't even think they can make it into a playoff spot right now, but they're playing like they could. So give me the Ottawa Senators in this. I don't blame you guys if you do stay off this one. It might be a good one to stay off. I love what we've seen out of Colorado as of late. You've already got 2 bets, Anthony. You are backing the Flames and Vegas under. Hell yeah, that's exactly where you need to go with that one. And the Kraken and the Kings in a parlay. Anthony, you are reading my brain. The Kings should have a phenomenal game tonight. And the Kraken need this win so bad. Those 4 games, all teams in the Pacific for big ones. Let's get to it, James. Let's get back to the next game. Wow, talking is limited today. The Montreal Canadiens taking on the Florida Panthers. We have a Panthers team coming in here so hungry, sitting 4th in the Atlantic. To say they need this win is an understatement. But where are we going to find value? Because they're minus 350 here on the money line. Total has dropped from 7 to 6.5. Plus 275 here if you believe in the Montreal Canadiens. Now, they're coming off a big win. They got the win over the Pittsburgh Penguins. That was a 6-4 win. Jake Allen expected in goal. Bobrovsky expected here for the Florida Panthers. Now, the Panthers are coming off a disappointing loss to the Winnipeg Jets. That was in OT on Saturday. They have a nice look-ahead spot, too, with the Devils on deck, but they need every win. I'm looking for the Florida Panthers to win this big, but Where do we find the value? Taking them on the puck line, -1.5 is -140. And I don't love that, you guys. It's so much juice to hit them here. I do think that they cover in this one, that puck line. Not notoriously strong at home on that puck line, but like I said, they need this win too bad. Looking at this total 6.5, how much faith do I have in Montreal to get these goals tonight? We know the Florida Panthers will be lighting up Jake Allen. So depending on how strong Jake Allen's night is, depends on if we're going to see this one go over or just stay under that total. I'm going to look at Florida's team total, and I'm probably going to hit that to the over. It's 4.5, you guys. I hate that. +108 to the over 4.5. But can I see them putting up 5 goals? Absolutely, I can. Like I said, I'm not finding value in this game. If you want to hit it, it's a Florida Panthers puck line for me. At -140, I don't like hitting a puck line there. So you guys do what you want with that one. We'll move on to the next game. The Pittsburgh Penguins taking on the New York Rangers. Now 7 o'clock Eastern matchup for this one as well. And yes, these two teams did just play back on the 12th. It was an overtime win for the Pittsburgh Penguins. Now, they were in Pittsburgh for that one. They're back here in the Garden. The Rangers have the home ice, and they do play again on Saturday. Yeah, it's Saturday. Today's Thursday. Wow. The week is flying, you guys. So we will see these teams battle it out one more time after tonight. I expect a higher scoring matchup tonight than we had in the last game. Now, the Penguins won it 3-2. It was an overtime win. The Rangers have been so epically strong pushing these games to overtime, getting those points that way. Looking at this game, could I see it going to overtime again? Absolutely. Could I see it being 3-3 going overtime? Absolutely. I like the over 6.5 in this one. I do like the New York Rangers, though, to have a strong game here at home. I think they bounce back off of that last loss to the Pittsburgh Penguins. And now the Penguins really have struggled in New York, going 1-5 in the last 6 meetings. This is the battle of the Metro, you guys. This is going to be a fantastic game on the ice tonight. The Penguins sitting 4th in the Metro, the New York Rangers sitting 3rd. Now, looking for who I think could score a goal for the Penguins here, you know we got to go with Sidney Crosby. Anytime goal force is see, talking is a premium tonight. For Sidney Crosby is at +165. Don't know why that was such a mouthful. And then if I'm going to look at the other side of the puck, give me Tarasenko for that anytime goal. Tarasenko coming in here at, my memory does not serve me for what I got Tarasenko for the anytime goal tonight, you guys, as well as not being able to talk right today. Apparently, I cannot remember what the value was on Tarasenko, +220. So I really do think this is a great game to hit both of those players for those goals. I see the goals coming in this one. The over has gone 15, 5, 3, and 2 for the last 22 meetings in New York. And in the last 51 meetings, we've seen 31 of those hit the over, 5 pushes in there. This total 6.5, I do think we see 7, 4, 3. This one, again, probably going to OT. And these teams hate each other so much. So the Rangers need to play a more disciplined game than the Pittsburgh Penguins. I'm not sure if you watched the last game and saw the amount of times these penalties were taken by both of these teams, and the Rangers really letting the Penguins get under their skin. I'm hoping for a cleaner game out of the Rangers. The Penguins can play a dirty game. They can fight this one out and end up in the penalty box, and then we'll win with the Rangers here. So give me the Rangers. -146 is juicy, but got to go with it. Let's hit that plus money. We got to get that win tonight at home. Okay, let's look at the next game on the ice. You guys, the Tampa Bay Lightning taking on the New Jersey Devils now. Oh, we've got to talk about this one for a minute. We have the Tampa Bay Lightning coming in as an underdog. We rode them the last time these two teams played on Tuesday. We got the win with the Tampa Bay Lightning. Now, my biggest question here is, can they do it again? We've got the New Jersey Devils coming in here at -140. Vanacek expected in goal for them. Andre Vasilevsky expected for the Tampa Bay Lightning. We're going to see the same sort of game to play out here. The Tampa Bay Lightning won on Tuesday 4-1. In New Jersey. So locations have not changed. We've seen the road team go 5-2 in the last 7 meetings. The Devils need to bounce back Absolutely. They're fighting to take the Metro here. They're sitting second in the Metro. The Tampa Bay Lightning sitting third in the Atlantic. I want to jump on the Devils to bounce back. I'm not sure if I'm going to get there, especially at that price at minus 140. It just seems like too much juice to play in that. But we look at them when they are off a loss, they bounce back. They bounce back solid. They're off that loss, but to the same opponent who won 4-1. Now, the Devils had a lot of missed shots, missed opportunities in that game. It was a crazy game there. I'm going to look at something I feel the most comfortable with. It's going to be the over 1.5 in the first period. I think those goals come again in that first period. That's minus 136, and then both teams to score. We've been making money on both teams to score in this first period. I'm going to sprinkle a little bit here because I do think both of these teams can come out nice and strong and score in that first period. So give me both teams to score in the first period. Give me the over 1.5. If I had to take a side, I want to jump on the Devils, but it's not sitting very solid with me in this one. The Lightning also, we look at their ability to limit their opponent's shots on goal, and that's something New Jersey Devils are known for, but we've really been seeing a Tampa pick up on that side as well. So this is a crazy one. I lean on the under for the full game. That first period, though, I think is where we're going to see the majority of those goals come in. Big shout out to you. Thank you for joining us today. Another Knights fan in the feed here. Man, you Knights fans, come on, guys. You know they're playing Calgary today. I think you guys are giving me a hard time on purpose. We'll get to that game. I'm probably with you. Go Knights, go. Vegas is my second favorite team. The Kings, my third. Devils, my fourth. You know Calgary's my number one. The Boston Bruins taking on the Winnipeg Jets, 8 o'clock Eastern for this matchup. Now, Boston coming in here at minus 152, plus 126 for the Winnipeg Jets. And what motivation does Boston have here? Yes, we've seen them lose their last two games to the Red Wings, to the Blackhawks. They lost that one crazily to the Blackhawks 6-3, and the Blackhawks definitely in a position to have a letdown game today, but we'll get to them in a second. Winnipeg here sitting fourth in the Central, fighting for their lives in the playoffs. Hellebuck expected in goal. Now, Connor Hellebuck is a better goalie at home than he is on the road, so I do like this matchup here. Allmark expected for the Boston Bruins. I think the under 6.5 is in play. I don't know why we're getting a 6.5 in this. This really does confuse me why this one wasn't sitting at a 6 or a 5.5. I do expect defenses to show up. And yes, the Boston Bruins have allowed goals to come in as of late, but Allmark is expected. And I don't think this is a game where I don't think they have the motivation. They're not going to risk anyone getting hurt to get this win. But I do think we see a little bit more drive out of them than we did versus the Blackhawks, than we did versus the Red Wings in those games. I think we see a little bit more. Not much more, but a little bit more. Now, Winnipeg, I don't want to take them straight up. There is no way I'm stepping in front of the Boston Bruins here because we know if they decide to play, they come to play. Winnipeg, because I'm leaning on the under in this game because I think it's going to be a low-scoring one. For parlay reasons, grabbing them plus 1.5 on that puck line is all right, but straight up, you can't bet them plus 1.5. It's minus 190. So the books have really priced us out of hitting that one there. Yeah, the Blackhawks really have been playing tough. They're giving it their all. It's really funny. This team does not want to lose games. That is for sure. They're playing as hard as they can. So that under between Winnipeg and Boston has hit in 10 of the last 15 meetings. We've seen 1 push and 4 overs between those two. 8 o'clock Eastern, we also have those Chicago Blackhawks taking on the Nashville Predators. Now, with the Blackhawks off that big win over the Boston Bruins, if they were coming into this with a win over anyone else, I would look at it and say, okay, we're going to see our best effort out of the Chicago Blackhawks, but I don't know if we do. They just won such a big game. They're sitting 8th in the Central, and the Predators are fighting for their lives to stay relevant in playoff hope, sitting 5th in the Central. Saros expected in goal for them as well, and Stalick expected here for the Chicago Blackhawks. Plus, this is a divisional matchup here, you guys. I have to look at the Predators on that puck line, laying 1.5 at minus 110. I think they have every opportunity to get a big win. But this is a low-scoring game, and that's where I struggle. I do think this is under 5.5, so hitting the Preds on that puck line is scary when you're riding an under as well. I could see this being a 3-1 or a 3-0 win here for the Predators. So either way, I'm still liking that puck line. I just have to make sure that the Chicago Blackhawks really are limited in this matchup today. Now, they have struggled versus Nashville, and in Nashville, they've only won 7 of the last 30 meetings over the Nashville Predators, and they're 5-16 in the last 21 in Nashville. When we look at the Preds coming into this one, they are coming in on one day's rest, which is strong for them. They've gone 4-1 in their last 5. They've been strong against the Western Conference, and in their last 11 games overall, they are 8-3 in those last 11. Looking at that under, another way you could take it is if you believe, like I do, that the Chicago Blackhawks just are not going to find the back of Saros's net, you can look at the team total of the Chicago Blackhawks. Hitting that under 2.5, though, is juicy at minus 150. So you'd have to throw that into a parlay as well. So the under 5.5 is where I have to go hit this one, you guys. Man, I tell you. That first period should explain. Yeah, we're going to see that for sure. You're going heavy on Edmonton on the over. Always got to be careful. We're going to talk about that game next. So the Ottawa Senators, Edmonton Oilers the other day. We got the both teams to score. We got the over 1.5. I actually was shocked that the Ottawa Senators were able to put up 2 goals on Edmonton. Walking out of that first period, both tied 2 apiece. We saw that game fly absolutely over, but then we see in Edmonton, like in that matchup versus Boston, where they really locked down defensively in that win, played both ends of the puck. And that's what I want to see out of Edmonton going forward. I want to see them be able to play both sides of that, be able to lock down their opponents. Connor McDavid's doing a fantastic job at working both ends of the ice now. He has realized that he cannot just leave it all on his core defensive players here to protect the defensive ends. So we are seeing a little bit of changes with this Edmonton Oilers team. That being said, we know how powerful they are offensively. They are trending so solidly to that over. They can light up any goal at any given time. Now they're facing Jake Ottinger in net tonight for the Dallas Stars. Dallas Stars coming in at plus 126 here. It's crazy how much value we're getting on the Dallas Stars. Minus 150 here for the Edmonton Oilers. Now, Dallas is coming in off that loss to Vancouver. And don't take that into account when you think about this team. They always lose against Vancouver. I don't know what it is. Vancouver just seems to have their number. This isn't because Vancouver is such a better team than the Dallas Stars. We know how solid the Dallas Stars are. They are sitting first in the Central. We got Edmonton sitting third in the Pacific, looking to pick up as many wins as they can. Now, the last time out, Edmonton absolutely destroyed the Dallas Stars, getting that 6-3 win. Huge, high-scoring game. And the Oilers, 5-2 in their last 7 overall. I'm going to go back to what I like to bet. When I do lean to these games being high-scoring, when I do see the power of Edmonton and the power of the Dallas Stars offensively and the issues with the defense of the Edmonton Oilers, I think we see these breakdowns come in that first period, and we see things really lock up in the second and third for the majority of the time. So both teams to score in the first period. I absolutely love here tonight with the Edmonton Oilers and Dallas Stars. I think both of them find the back of the net. Like I said, Jake Ottinger for the Dallas Stars, Stuart Skinner here for the Edmonton Oilers. But both teams to score, I think, is a nice one. You know, the over 6.5, I do think is a good one as well, but I'm not going to get there with it. It just depends. I think that first period's high scoring. I don't want to worry about the rest of this game in case we see defenses lock down. Whew, told you. Talking today is at a premium. It's because I guessed it all morning, you guys. So I have done a million shows and my mouth forgets to talk after I do a million shows. We're going to look at Calgary versus Vegas next, 10 o'clock Eastern for this one. Vegas rolling in here as a slight favorite. Now, why aren't they a bigger favorite over Calgary? They've split this season, but Vegas did get the win 4-3 in February. Calgary got the win before. Now, Jacob Markstrom has been playing so much better here for the Calgary Flames. I'm going to keep reminding you guys of that. Jonathan Quick is expected here. I was thinking Aiden Hill, but it's looking like Jonathan Quick is likely per a couple of sites. Calgary's doing a really solid job at limiting their opponent's ability to get these shots on goal. We love that about Calgary. Vegas rolling in with the strong defense. This one is an under game all day long. Again, why is this 6.5? I know the last game was a 4-3 game, hitting us over a 6.5, but I do think this one stays lower scoring. And if it's a lower scoring game, I struggle to see Calgary winning. Now, I know a lot of people liking Calgary here. Vegas sitting pretty comfortably first in the Pacific, but I tell you, those LA Kings are chasing them, so I don't know how much comfort Vegas is actually feeling. Calgary desperate, though, sitting 5th in the Pacific. And you guys are starting to see the trend of me betting today is look at these teams that are desperate for the win. If you think they have the ability to win, I think you got to bet with them. I just don't know if I can get behind Calgary. And I think I've got a little bit of bias here because they are my team. It's kind of like going to therapy and point to which teams hurt you. Calgary has really hurt me. They've hurt my heart and they've hurt my wallet. They are not winning these games they're supposed to, and they're winning the games that no one expects them to. So this would be Vegas. This would be the perfect matchup for Calgary to come in and get the win over Vegas because no one expects them to. And I'm hearing rumblings of people liking the Flames tonight, which makes me even more uncertain if I'm going to take it. I think just the best way, take the under 6.5. I do think defenses show up. Calgary has not won one of the last 8 meetings in Vegas. They also are 2-6 in the last 8 meetings versus Vegas overall. So splitting the season. Now Vegas is home from a road trip, and it's normally a place I like to fade teams home off a road trip. Vegas isn't one of them. Vegas comes back home, puts on a show for its home crowd. Under 6.5. Oh, I wish I could get there. Yeah, you're seeing Quick, and that's who I'm seeing likely. So it will be a close game. I think this is one that could go to overtime, you guys. Actually, I think that is probably my favorite bet of the day. Let's take Calgary and Vegas to go to overtime. Let me just see what that odd is. The odds are for Vegas and Calgary to go to overtime. If my book will load it. I do think that's where we go with this one. I think Calgary is desperate. Vegas is solid, though. Calgary and Vegas to go to overtime tonight is plus 360. And that's my favorite bet. I will bet the under, and I'm going to bet Calgary and Vegas to go to OT at plus 360. And then I'm going to stay off the rest. I really do hope Calgary pulls up this win. And if you guys have faith in them, tonight's the night. Like I said, it's one of those nights where when you don't expect Calgary to win, they win. But it's Vegas. Vegas sitting first in the Pacific. Calgary sitting 5th. Calgary has let us down night after night. I don't want to put my money there. I will put my money on overtime. I will put my money on the under. And Jonathan Quick has absolutely been playing so much better since he arrived in Vegas. So definitely a great way to look at that one. We should look at some goalie props as well in this game, you guys. I do think that we could look at Jonathan Quick, his save shots on goal, 29.5 save shots on goal. What we're finding is even when Calgary wins a game, taking the goalie on the opposite side for their save shots on goal is safe because Calgary is so good at limiting opponents' ability to get these shots on goal, but on the offensive side, firing away at will. Calgary averaging just over 35 shots on goal per game. They are coming in, the exact number is 35.7 shots on goal. So second overall in the league. Now, the Vegas Golden Knights averaging that 31.9. Vegas is still allowing these shots. So while they have a solid defense, they're still allowing 30.8 shots on goal per game. Calgary holding opponents to that 27.3, which is second overall in the league. So Calgary has so many good elements. They should be a better team. They're just not able to get these wins, and I do think a coaching change is needed. But taking Jonathan Quick over 29.5, absolutely. Calgary's going to come firing. We've got them averaging 35.7. I promise you tonight, they're going to hit over 35.7 shots on goal per game. This is going to be a game where they average at least 38 shots on goal. They're going to come out that strong firing. Jonathan Quick needs to stand on his head, and I do think he stops 30 shots on goal. There's no way Calgary's even getting in 4 shots in this one. So give me Jonathan Quick over 29.5 save shots on goal. Yeah, how can you have faith in them there, Benji? It's kind of one of those statements like, I have no faith I can walk on water because I can't. So can Calgary beat Vegas in Vegas? They haven't 8 times in a row. One of these times, all trends need to be broken, but I would rather take Jonathan Quick over 29.5 save shots on goal. I'm going to bet this right after. I'm also going to take Calgary and Vegas to go to overtime. And look at the under, 6.5. I think we see defenses show up for sure. You're right in Vegas, and I don't blame you. Riding Vegas there, 4-3. I could see that. Are you going to take it to go to overtime, Kev, if you think it's that tight of game? Because I think it's that tight a game. I might just do the overtime and not that total, because then I'll be pissed if it's 3-3 into overtime. Okay, the next game on the board, we got the Vancouver Canucks taking on the Arizona Coyotes. The Canucks minus 162. I'm not betting the Canucks at minus 162. Plus 134 for the Arizona Coyotes that love playing at home, love getting these wins in Mullet Arena. Give me the Coyotes plus 134. They have won their last 4 home games. And between these two, the home team has had the advantage. Now, Vancouver is sitting 6th in the Pacific. Arizona is sitting 7th in the Central. Vancouver won the last matchup back in December 3-2. I don't care. The Canucks have not played well in Arizona. They've only won 2 of their last 7. They have won the last 4 meetings overall. I get that. But Arizona playing their heart out here at home. Now, they do have a goalie that has come up, and he did play Ivan Prosvetov. He did play 1 game. I know my pronunciation of words is absolutely terrible. You guys don't have to remind me. He played 1 game versus the Predators, and he was absolutely lights out on standing on his head. Of 40 shots on goal, he saved 39. So Ivan, my money is on you tonight. I do think he has a better night in this one than Demko. I got Demko expected in goal on the other side, and I got a Vancouver Canucks team that I really don't trust on the road. So that is where I'm going. Give me the Arizona Coyotes plus 134 at home tonight. The Columbus Blue Jackets and the LA Kings. You guys threw out the Kings earlier, liking them tonight, and I absolutely love them as well. Copley confirmed in goal. Now, this team silent in the Pacific. We don't hear a lot about the LA Kings quietly winning these games. The only big thing we heard was they let go of Jonathan Quick, and then he goes to Columbus and then to Vegas. It's going to come back and bite LA in the butt. I can promise them that. But I do think this LA Kings team is phenomenal. I think they could take the Pacific. They just are not this team that ever stops in these games. They give it 110% and they're coming out strong. So looking at this matchup, they're minus 285 on that money line. 2 juice, but puck line, you got to lay 1.5 at minus 125. I don't hate it. I look at Columbus here sitting 8th in the Metro. They did win the last matchup between these two, 6-5. Hutchinson or Tarasov expected in goal for them. Not sure who we're going to see. Either way, I don't care. I do think the Kings are the better team. They're 6-1 in their last 7 overall. They're 7-1 in their last 8 home games, and they're 6-2 in their last 8 meetings over the Columbus Blue Jackets for the home team. So I think we've got a good game here for LA Kings backers. As for that total, I'm going to stay off. That total is really interesting to look at. We have a total of 6.5. Now, it all depends on Columbus, how they come out. We know the LA Kings can play a really strong offensive game or a really strong defensive game, as the Jayhawks just won their first round here. I missed the score. I got the game on over there. So, but Jayhawks are celebrating the win. Happy March Madness, you guys. The Kansas Jayhawks won 96-68 over Howard. So there we go. I tell you, Maryland, they won today. It was on VCU. That 3-pointer at the buzzer being missed killed me. We never forget those ones. Okay, Anyway, back to hockey. LA, take the Kings tonight on the puck line. I think they have a big win. This could be a shutout win here for the LA Kings. I really like what we've seen out of Copley. I think he's a fantastic goalie, and this should be a good game. So short and sweet on that one, not touching the total, you guys. The Seattle Kraken and the San Jose Sharks. Now, the Kraken coming in expected to start Grubauer. This is a team that at one point was sitting second in the Pacific. They are falling. They're all the way down to fourth in the Pacific. Calgary's just right behind them. The Kraken need this win, and they are going to dominate over the San Jose Sharks. Yes, I love a home dog, but I don't love a home Shark. The Sharks cannot play at home. 6-19, 4-5 at home this season. They are better on the road, which is not saying much because this is not a good team, sitting 8th in the Pacific. The Seattle Kraken need a win, and they need it big. And I did my Puck It Up. If you guys have ever caught Puck It Up with Sam and I, we were doing this morning. I was looking at the Kraken in regulation. She said, hell, I'm taking them on the puck line. And I said, yeah, we're taking them on the puck line. Taking the Seattle Kraken here on the puck line is where you need to go, you guys. They're 23-10 on the road on that puck line. And yes, in some of those situations, they've been underdogs. But look for them to dominate over the San Jose Sharks tonight. I just don't see this one being a game where San Jose stays even relevant in this game. I think the Kraken, with how desperately they need big wins, come out nice and strong in this one. Jayhawks. Yeah, I'm glad you're excited for the Jayhawks win. It's a game I actually stayed off. I didn't bet it. I can't remember what the spread was. They must have covered that spread, 82-69. I think they would have covered that spread. I don't think it was that high of a spread. Okay, you guys, it's going to be quite a day. Yeah, they're unbeatable with Quick and Net. I know. This is a Jonathan Quick who we didn't have faith with the LA Kings, but he's come to life with Vegas. This will come back to haunt the Kings. And I will be so torn. When I see that game between the Kings and Vegas, I'm going to be torn like crazy. I think I'll have to side with the Kings because I want to side with Jonathan Quick. I didn't love what they did to him. I'm going to be honest, even though I do like the LA Kings, I think it was kind of bad. And I think, yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, the Kraken definitely have been making us money. Spread was over 21. Okay, so then what was that? 80, I can't remember the score now. The numbers have dropped off in my head, so they must not have covered that. You like Seattle as well to the under. Seattle rematch and the under. Yeah, I don't think the Kraken or the Sharks are scoring in this one. Total 6.5. Who's scoring for the Sharks? Who's coming to play today? I don't believe it. The Kraken could take this over by themselves, and that's the scary thing, though. The Kraken's so powerful offensively. They've been having some bad games. Like, they have lost their last 3, but they need to get things back on track. This is a big get things back on track. I'm not touching the total just because I'm a little worried here about what if the Kraken decide to light up the net, get 7 goals themselves. This could be a 7-0 win, or they could really play a strong defensive game. They're solid at limiting their opponents and could win 4-0. So I'm not touching the total. Just give me the Kraken puck line. Big time win here. Texas A&M going against Alabama right now, down 29-48 for Alabama. Okay, you guys, let's build a parlay. I tell you, my brain is so scattered. This is probably why I can't talk. With all of the madness going on, I just and my mouse isn't working. I just can't concentrate and focus on one thing when that TV is playing. I now understand my father way more. The Kraken laying 1.5. I like it. Yeah, they are really trending to that under, Kelly. I completely agree with you. Kev, which game is a stay away? You'd be mad at the team you gave your best to dump at your door. Absolutely. Hit that like button. Picks from Dave. Thanks for stopping by to say hi. If you guys haven't followed Picks from Dave, go give him a follow. Dave, hit me up. I got a couple of things I want to talk to you about. Let's recap. Colorado taking on the Ottawa Senators. Give me the home dog. Give me the Sens here at +112. I think they have every opportunity to get a win. They were a +130 home dog earlier today, so I'm sorry we missed so much more value on them, but I do think this is a nice opportunity for the Sens to get a win here. They've lost their last 3. They were on the road. They're returning home. returning off a bad road trip, 1-3 in that road trip. I normally like to fade teams, but I think the Avs off that hard-fought battle last night, and this isn't a fade of the Avs, but they battled it out with the Leafs. That was a 2-1 shootout win. I think they kind of overlook here what we're going to see out of the Senators for digging deep. So for the parlay, let's just take the Sens plus 1.5 in the parlay, but I do like the money line for a straight-up bet. Montreal versus the Florida Panthers. Panthers need this win too bad. I'm going to take the Panthers in regulation for the parlay. I do like them laying the 1.5, but it's minus 140 here, you guys. I don't like to lay 2 goals at minus 140. So hard game to find value. I do think we probably see the goals come out of the Florida Panthers quick and early to start this game. So that first period over 1.5, if you can find value on that, I think is a fantastic bet. I wouldn't be shocked if they walked out of that first period 2-1 or 2-0, which is why I'm not taking both teams to score. The Pittsburgh Penguins and the New York Rangers here. The Rangers to get the win. I'm going to take the Rangers on the money line for the parlay. I do think this is another one we could see go to overtime tonight. We saw it go to overtime the last time. We saw it stay under the total. The amount of penalties and the amount of fighting these two teams are doing, I can't hit this one under. I do think we see some power play goals come in this game. So I am leaning to the over in this one. You're looking at a couple goal scorers. Sidney Crosby, anytime goal plus 165. Tarasenko, anytime goal plus 220. If memory strikes me right, it's right around that mark. It's over 200, and that's why I had to check it before. So look at both of those players to have big nights. But like I said, I'm expecting the goals in this one. I'm expecting a scrappy game out of both of these teams, and I do expect this one to go to overtime. So the Rangers and the Penguins to, again, go to OT is what I'm liking. Let's just see what value we have on them to go to OT, because I'm forgetting. I know we have Calgary to go to OT with Vegas. Overtime here is plus 360 for the Rangers and the Penguins. The next game on the board, the Tampa Bay Lightning taking on the New Jersey Devils. Yes, these teams played as well just a couple nights ago with Tampa getting the win. I want to have faith that Tampa is going to do it again, because what we saw in the last game, I tell you, the New Jersey Devils need to make a huge change coming into this game. They should bounce back, though, you guys. The Devils off a loss are scary good. So I'm not going to get on a side in this one. I just can't. I think there's prime opportunity for both of these teams to get the win. I'm not getting enough value tonight with Tampa. I'm actually shocked at the value that we're still getting with Tampa tonight, but it's not enough for me. If Tampa was more of a plus 150 underdog, I'd be hitting them for the value. We hit them the other night, and I know they weren't that big of dogs, but I did think that they would win that one. This one, I'm a little bit less confident with the Devils off the loss to them. I do think this is a first period over 1.5. That's coming in at minus 150 or 136, and both teams to score in that first period. I love here because I do think we're going to see both of these teams come out explosively out of the gate. Now, Tampa did a phenomenal job at limiting the New Jersey Devils' ability to get these shots on goal in the last game. But in this one here today, I think we see the Devils turn things around. They had a lot of opportunities and missed opportunities in that last game. So there is things that they can change in this one. Both teams to score in the first period between these two is plus 158 for the Devils. And the Lightning, both teams to score. Okay, the next game for the recap, you guys, the Boston Bruins and the Winnipeg Jets. I do think Winnipeg is more motivated in this game, taking the Jets plus 1.5 for parlay reasons. I like here, it's minus 190 for straight up. So I just can't get there. I do expect this one to stay under the total 6.5. Kind of scares me. We're getting a 6.5 in this one. Why are we getting a 6.5? Winnipeg and their defense with Connor Hellebuck in net trend so solidly to that under. The Boston Bruins, we know how strong their defense is. Are they just expecting Boston to lay down in this one? I don't think Boston lays down. I think they come a little bit more to play. What we saw out of them in the last two games isn't Boston. This is Boston taking a break because they've already clinched the Atlantic. So That's what we're looking at for this one. Give me the Winnipeg Jets and the under. The Winnipeg Jets plus 1.5 and the under. The Chicago Blackhawks and the Nashville Predators. I think the Preds win this big. I'll throw the Preds into the parlay just on the money line, but I do think straight up betting the Predators minus 1.5 at minus 110. Fantastic way to go with this game. We have seen the Preds trend nicely to that under, playing a strong defensive game. The under 5.5, while it's low, I do like it. The Blackhawks team total under 2.5, I like as well. I could see the Predators winning this 3-0, getting the shutout win. The Dallas Stars and the Edmonton Oilers, opposite to slow and boring game here. We're going to see a high-paced, fast game out of these two as the Dallas Stars and the Edmonton Oilers go at it. I want to take Dallas here at plus 126 on the money line, and I'm going to hit it there. I think they have every opportunity to pull off the upset win here in Edmonton. Now they have Calgary on deck on Saturday. And we look at Edmonton. They've got the Kraken on deck on Saturday. So they got a Pacific divisional opponent that is right there fighting with them for a spot in the Pacific. I could see, there's so much talent on Edmonton, but I do think Dallas takes this one. I think a better way to do than take a side in this one is both teams to score in that first period. Again, we have two high-powered offenses. We have Dallas's defense strong and Edmonton's defense shaky at times. So I do think we can see those goals coming in fast. The total, you can't take an Edmonton game to the under. You just can't do it. So if you want to bet it, I'd look at that over. I'm kind of nervous with that number. So for the parlay, I'm going to take the over 1.5 for the Stars and Edmonton in the first period. And I do like that for a straight up bet as well, if you can find limited juice. Now, Calgary and Vegas here, we talked in depth about this one. You guys looking at Jonathan Quick's save shots on goal over 29.5. Phenomenal way to take this. He's been standing on his head for Vegas. We also know Calgary is going to is going to light him up with shots, man. Light him up with shots today on net. So I do expect him to save over 29.5. That doesn't mean that I think the Vegas is going to win. This is going to be a hard one. I do lean on Vegas here, but I do think both goalies, Jacob Markstrom and Jonathan Quick, have solid nights. Now, Markstrom's not confirmed, so I can't look at his numbers tonight, but I'd be cautious taking his numbers as well because Calgary's so good at limiting those abilities for their opponents to get shots on goal. It's not a situation where I like to bet on those goalie props. Looking at Vegas, so on the other hand, we have a Vegas team that still allows just over 30 shots on goal per game. So Calgary's going to get those shots in tonight. I think the under 6.5 and this one to go to overtime is my favorite bets of this game. I really hope it's not 3-3 going to overtime. So I might be a little cautious with that total going under, but we have seen 5 of the last 7 meetings in Vegas go to that under. The last game was a 4-3 win for the Vegas Golden Knights, but I think this is a 2-2 go into overtime style game. So I'm going to take Calgary and Vegas to go to overtime. That's plus 360 on that. As for the parlay, I'm leaving it out. I'm just leaving it out. It's too unknown for me. Vegas, Vancouver, and the Arizona Coyotes. Give me the Coyotes here for the parlay. Let's take the Coyotes plus 1.5 in the parlay, but straight up bet. I love the Coyotes on the money line at plus 134 tonight. I think they can absolutely get this win over the Vancouver Canucks, who I can't trust on the road. Look at Ivan, their goalie in net tonight. I'm not even going to try to butcher his last name. To have a big night. He has saved 39 of 40 shots on goal made on him by the Predators. Vancouver is going to be pelting him with shots tonight, but I do think he stands on his head. The Columbus Blue Jackets and the LA Kings. The Kings on the puck line tonight for the parlay. I'm going to just throw the Kings in regulation. I do think the Kings on the puck line minus 1.5 at minus 125 is a very solid bet tonight. I think they have a big one here at home with Copley in goal. And then the last game, not least, the Seattle Kraken. Give me the Kraken for the big win on the puck line. That's at minus 1.5. I think that one cashes nicely. I also think in this one that you could take the Kraken just in regulation if you're a little worried about that. Puck line for the parlay will take the Seattle Kraken in reg. I think they get it done. The Sharks, just so absolutely terrible. Jayhawks covered. Congratulations to everyone who rode the Jayhawks for that big cover. Yeah, when Jonathan Quick plays against the Kings, you just got to bet that total. It's going to be crazy. Thanks, Kelly. Appreciate it. Sharks in Seattle. Bruins -1.5. Ottawa won 3 of the last 4 versus Colorado. Colorado backup goalie. Yeah, very good point. Colorado coming in with that backup goalie. It should be a great night for the Ottawa Senators in this game. Senators disappointment. Yeah, they've shown their struggles. That is for sure. Panthers too juicy for me. They are a little juicy, but if you take them on the puck line, I do think we could see even at -140. Look at their team total. What's that? That's at 4.5. We are having struggles on how to bet that team. Maybe first period, but those first periods I'm cautious of today after not cashing them yesterday. Montreal and Florida, Kevin, you're taking over a 6.5. You guys, so many comments rolling in. Let's just run through these really quick. Colorado moneyline, Preds moneyline, Lightning +1.5, and Penguins +1.5, +420. Gotta love that +420, John. Way to go with that one. I wish you all the best. So, okay, the Devils need the revenge win. Yeah, they absolutely do need the revenge win. Rangers -1.5. I love tonight, Rick. You guys are all awesome. Stars on the money line. Oilers don't play defense, they play off. I completely agree. So let's just recap this parlay, you guys, and I'll let you get on your way. The Senators, we're going to take them +1.5 in the parlay. Like I said, taking them straight up. I love today. Let's just run. I'm going to keep talking. Let me just recap the parlay. Sens +1.5. The Panthers in regulation. The Rangers on the money line. The Jets +1.5. The Preds on the money line. The Stars and Edmonton first period over 1.5. The Coyotes +1.5. The Kings in regulation and the Seattle Kraken in regulation. Best bets. I think the Senators, barking home dog. Seattle Kraken destroys the Sharks, taking the Kraken laying 1.5. The Coyotes, again, barking home dog tonight. The Rangers and the Penguins to go to overtime +360. Calgary and Vegas to go to overtime +360. And both teams to score in the first period. Dallas and Edmonton at +158. That is what I'm liking today, you guys. I appreciate each and every one of you. I know that funny feeling, 3-3 going to overtime. I really hope it's 2-2 going to overtime because then my under hits. I think I'm going to stay off the under, you guys, in that one because I could see it being 3-3. That empty netter where it looks like we're not going to go to overtime is exactly what could happen. So stay off that total. Just take the game to go to overtime. You guys are absolutely the best. I appreciate each and every one of you for joining me here every single day. Kev, the Kings to go in regulation, definitely a great way to take that game. But you guys, you're awesome. I appreciate you. And I want to thank you so much for joining me here each and every day. I have to run. Enjoy March Madness today. I will have a couple bets coming out a little bit later. I just got to jump on a guesting spot, but I will chat with you guys tomorrow, 3:30 Eastern. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and have a good day. Let's make some freaking money. Bye, guys.